Never show your pain to these types of people.
You don't cry in front of people anymore, even when your chest feels tight, even when your mind won't slow down at night, even when you desperately wish someone would notice that you're not okay. You've mastered the art of composure. You know how to nod, how to smile BNE, how to say, "It's fine, I'll handle it." And maybe there was a time when that saved you. Maybe you learned early that expressing pain didn't lead to comfort. It led to awkward silence, or dismissal, or being told you were overreacting. Maybe someone rolled their eyes when you were hurting. Maybe your vulnerability became a future weapon in an argument. So you adapted. You became strong, self-contained, unshakable. You decided quietly and unconsciously that your pain was safer inside you than in the hands of someone else, and that decision protected you. But here's the paradox. The shield that once kept you safe is now keeping you alone. You don't just hide your pain from unsafe people, you hide it from everyone. And now you're exhausted, not because you're weak, but because you're carrying a life that was never meant to be carried alone. This isn't about becoming emotionally reckless. It's about understanding why you learned to hide and who you should never entrust with your inner world. Because some people do not handle pain with care, and if you are the hyper-independent protector, you already know that. Psychologically, this pattern is often rooted in avoidant attachment. Avoidant attachment forms when a child repeatedly experiences emotional non-responsiveness. When comfort is inconsistent, unavailable, or shaming, the nervous system adapts by suppressing outward need. You learn that needing less hurts less. You don't stop feeling, you stop showing. Over time, this creates a self-concept built on emotional independence, but beneath that independence is often hypervigilance, a constant scanning for signs of rejection, disapproval, or instability. Hypervigilance is the nervous system stuck in subtle survival mode. You read micro-expressions, you notice tone shifts instantly, you detect when someone is off. This sensitivity once helped you navigate unpredictable environments, but now it makes vulnerability feel like stepping into a spotlight with no protection. Neurologically, repeated emotional suppression strengthens certain pathways. The amygdala, responsible for threat detection, becomes highly reactive to social rejection. Meanwhile, your default mode network, the part of the brain involved in self-referential thought, can become overactive in rumination. You replay conversations. You analyze whether you said too much. You anticipate potential judgment before it happens. You look calm externally. Internally, your nervous system rarely rests. This creates a split identity, the capable, composed public self, and the private self that carries silent weight. Carl Jung once wrote, "What you resist not only persists, but will grow in size." When you resist vulnerability long enough, it does not disappear, it deepens underground. There is a specific grief that comes with always being the strong one. It's not dramatic, it's not obvious, and it's quiet. It's the grief of never being fully seen. You are the one people rely on, the one who gives advice, the one who shows up. But when was the last time someone truly held space for you? You tell yourself you don't need it, but that's not entirely true. At the core of this pattern is fear. The fear that if you show your pain, you will be perceived as weak. The fear that if you express need, you will become a burden. The fear that if someone sees your cracks, they will leave. So you preemptively remove the risk. You downplay your struggles. You intellectualize your emotions. You translate hurt into productivity. You sacrifice authenticity for control. And slowly, subtly, you begin to feel unknown, even in rooms full of people who care about you. Søren Kierkegaard described despair as the misalignment between who you are and who you allow yourself to be. That's what this becomes. A quiet misalignment. You smile when you want to break. You say, "I'm good," when you're not. You offer support while secretly wishing someone would notice your exhaustion. The invisible grief is not that you are alone, it's that you are unseen. And when this continues long enough, something shifts internally. You begin to doubt your own needs. You minimize your wounds. You say, "It wasn't that bad." You say, Other people have it worse, but the body remembers. The tension in your shoulders, the fatigue that sleep doesn't cure, the strange emptiness after social gatherings. The cost of emotional armor is intimacy, and not just intimacy with others, intimacy with yourself. This pattern follows you into adulthood in subtle but powerful ways. You might be someone who struggles to ask for help, even when overwhelmed. You believe competence equals worth, feels uncomfortable receiving care. Compliments feel suspicious, genuine concern feels foreign, attracts emotionally distant partners. Familiar distance feels safer than unpredictable closeness. Overworks to prove value. You equate productivity with security. Shuts down during conflict. Instead of expressing hurt, you detach and withdraw. Leaves relationships early. If you sense potential rejection, you exit before you can be abandoned. These are not fixed personality traits. They are coping strategies.
They were intelligent responses to environments where vulnerability carried risk.
But here's the crucial truth. You should not show your pain to people who weaponize vulnerability. Never reveal your deepest wounds to those who mock sensitivity, to those who gossip about private struggles, to those who compete instead of connect, to those who lack emotional maturity, to those who store your pain as future leverage. Discernment is not paranoia, it is protection. But if you never show your pain to anyone, you confirm your old belief that no one is safe. Unlearning begins with witnessing. Instead of saying, I'm just independent, you say, I learned to survive alone. Instead of saying, I don't need anyone, you say, I was never taught how to safely need someone. That shift is powerful, because once you see the pattern, you can choose differently.
Healing does not mean exposing yourself to unsafe people.
It means choosing safe people intentionally. One path toward healing is inner child reparenting, the practice of giving yourself the reassurance and validation you once lacked. You learn to speak gently to yourself, to acknowledge your own pain instead of dismissing it, to regulate your nervous system with compassion rather than criticism. Another path is shadow work, integrating the parts of you you were taught to suppress, the neediness, the softness, the longing for support. These are not weaknesses, they are human needs that were never fully met. You also practice selective vulnerability, small truths. I'm not okay today. That hurt. I need help. And then you watch who responds with care, who listens without fixing, who respects your boundaries. Trust is built through evidence. The goal is not to remove your armor entirely. The goal is to choose when to wear it. Brené Brown writes, vulnerability is the birthplace of love, belonging, joy, courage, empathy, and creativity. But vulnerability without discernment is exposure. Vulnerability with discernment is strength. So never show your pain to those who would weaponize it. But don't hide it so deeply that even you forget it exists. You survived by being strong. Now you grow by being whole. You are not broken for protecting yourself. You are human. And the next chapter of your life isn't about becoming invincible. It's about becoming integrated. If this resonated with you, share it with someone who learned to survive by staying silent. Not because they need to be fixed, but because they deserve to be seen.